John here from Maximum Overdrive and going to take you on a little tour of the 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid. We've had a couple of requests for it. Obviously, we've had some haters of the vehicle, and that's fine. Hate if you like to. But the reality of this car is if you're a horsepower guy, you like to cruise, you like instantaneous torque, fact is, this has got that. And hey, we love our muscle cars, but let's get this thing out on the road a little bit, take a little cruise, get it on the road, and show you what it's got. As we're cruising around here, we're going to give you a little taster's choice of this car, how it works, what it does, and what it doesn't do. So a couple comments, a couple questions we had is that, well, first of all, obviously there's no sound of this car, but it's cool because you can program in your own. Okay, that's still not sold, but everything from this fine machine that Mr. Musk made is controlled from that flat screen. And I think we both agree after using that flat screen, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a piece of technology on four wheels.
It is absolutely a piece of technology on four wheels, and it does take a little while to get there. Let me crank up a light here. There you go. So that might give you a little bit more viewing, but it does take a little while to get used to the yoke and steering wheel, because it is quite different from the other wheels you're used to driving on, right?
Yeah.
Circle, you can drive with your knee if you're used to doing that, but in this it kind of forces your hand. Like, you have to kind of keep both hands on the wheel, especially in this thing. It's a monster. You know, we're going to give you a little kick down here in just a second, so you can get kind of that feel of what this is about. Now we're at 55% charge, so you know, and that's just a good, not full send, but it's just a nice little acceleration. But
quarter send.
Yeah, here we go. We'll give it a little something here. I'm going to slow it down. That regenerative braking is definitely nice, and then that's a real. I mean, that's serious. I mean, we were up at the 80 miles an hour like instantly.
No time.
I mean, and that's the thing, you know, people can say that these electric cars or whatever, but I mean, it's instant. There's no wait, there's no spool up, you're just gone. So does it have soul? No. Does it have torque and horsepower? Absolutely.
And it makes up for it with all that.
And it makes up for it. It absolutely does. And you know what? For the price tag too, let's be honest here, guys. I mean, a Model S Plaid, I mean, you're not given 400K like a McLaren. So is it a supercar in the traditional sense? No, it's not. You can also put your family in the backseat of this car and drive for 300 and some odd miles and not have to worry about getting gas either.
And can it also beat most supercars on the road?
Oh yeah,
yes,
dude, easily. 100%. I mean, I would put this up against a Bugatti any day. Like, bring on the Bugatti, bring on
up
the
to
whatever.
80 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and I think the thing is, though, if you stop and really feel how this thing works in a quarter-mile draw, you know, the reality of this car is that it's going to pull you hard from, you know, call it up to 100 miles an hour. And if the other car is burning, spinning, somebody ain't driving it right, you're gonna have built such a gap in between you and them that you'll win. I mean, this is a 9.2, 9.3 second car at the end of the day. So if you got 1,500 horsepower and you can't put it on the ground, you ain't applying it, you ain't winning the race. But you're looking cool.
Yep.
Yeah, but you look cool, right?
It sounds cool, but you're not getting any traction.
Yeah,
so
you ain't getting any traction, you ain't moving, and that's something that, you know, I mean, I love the American Muscle. I mean, we got them in the collection, but at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is the American Muscle is that with the engine in the front versus the rear, like a lot of the exotics have, I mean, that weight distribution is not good, so you spend a lot of your time trying to manage the horsepower and put it on the ground, whereas the reality is, you know, with this type of car, there is no managing the horsepower. You're gone. I mean, it's just all wheels bite and go. I mean, it's that simple, and it's a lot safer, right? So when you punch this versus you punch, you know, something that's going to spin wheels and you got your stick and whatnot, reality is, I mean, if you're not careful with that, you'll wrap yourself around the telephone pole, and nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, this thing can control the drivetrain a lot better than internal combustion cars. So
absolutely. And you know, you put up another all-wheel drive car like a Turbo S or, you know, Trackhawk or whatever, a Lamborghini. Truth of the matter is, any all-wheel drive car is going to drive a lot better. But, you know, I can tell you right now, I would take this. I mean, I'd probably sell the Lamborghini and get me two of these. You know, keep one on 100% or 90% charge all the time. Now let's get into that just for a second. So what's one thing about this car that at least I still think's weird is that, you know, I mean, this is just how batteries work. It's simple battery technology. You cannot keep this thing charged at 100% all the time. That's not good for the battery, for the life of the batteries of this car. But if you want to maximize power, you need to be above 90%. Well, it's like the chicken and the egg. You can't do one without the other, if that makes sense. So if you charge it to 100%, the car lets you know that, hey, don't do that. But if you keep charging 100%, it's like, really don't do that, and then you're hurting your battery. But if you want to get the full feel of the car, you really want to be above 90%. Now, can you tell is the question. Can you tell, Isaac, when we've been rolling, when it's below 90%?
To be honest, no, not really.
Okay.
And most people won't be able to unless you've had a lot of hours behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the average person will be able to tell the difference.
100%. And I will tell you this thing was down to 20% the other day, or 25, something like that. And I could definitely tell. As it started getting around that 40, 50 mark, I could tell. When it definitely got to 20, I was like, I could feel instead of instant, like what you just felt there, like that, just throw you back, like it was no longer there. It was a delay. It reminded me of a traditional combustion engine, which, hey, that's what happens when you get low on power. So, you know.
Yeah. And also, back to the controlling the drivetrain. In a combustion car, you got to also control the revs. You got to comply with that. But in an electric car, you don't have any revs. It's just instant, easier to control. So
you're just gone. You just push the gas, basically. I say gas. You push the electricity.
The throttle.
You push the throttle and you're just gone. I mean, for anybody not to think that, you know, these cars in general aren't real, or they're not fast or not solid, you're lying to yourself. And, you know, I've got a lot of friends and people who I know who are American muscle guys like you, Isaac, you know, some peeps. The reality is, sorry, our detector's going off, but the reality is, all those guys are like, oh, it's a Tesla, oh, it's electric. And then you say, look, give it a chance, sit in it. And you take these people on a ride one time, and what do you get? Wow, you know, oh my gosh, that thing is so fast. Oh my gosh, I still like the soul of the other car, but I really like the way that feels. Because it's manageable, it's controllable.
Literally 100% of the people that hated Tesla, they went in a ride in this and they were sold instantly. 100% of them, isn't that right, John?
Yeah, 100% of them. You still get the guy who says, hey, I like the sound. I'm with you. I like the sound of the muscle too.
I think we're all like that.
I like the smell of it, but the reality of it is that if you're really a horsepower guy, if you're really a torque guy, I mean, step up to the plate. I'm telling you, you won't find yourself a finer. I'm not even endorsed by Tesla to say it. This car is legit. I mean, you're going to pull up next to a $400,000 car, you're going to blow its doors off. You pull up next to $1 million car, stoplight to stoplight, you're going to blow its doors off. I guarantee you. Now, if it's heavily modified and they're ready for a race, yeah, you might not win. But for the price you pay, it's worth every penny. Guaranteed. So they did a nice job. Still the battery charging, yeah, a little iffy on that. You know, overcharging the battery, that kind of bothers me. And there has been a couple of them that supposedly caught up on fire. So, you know, catching on fire is no bueno.
That is very rare case, though. And I mean, you think about it, an internal combustion car is more likely to catch fire, and there's a lot more common.
You would think. I mean, you would really think.
It's
I think the thing is, too, with the batteries is I shouldn't say people, the technology, I would say, is not 100% mature, right? How long has combustion engines been around for? Long time. So there's been a lot of mistakes over the years. People have figured stuff out. Well, electric cars, how long have they been around? A couple of years, basically, in the grand scheme of things. So as they continue to learn, as they continue to grow, it'll only get better, but these cars ain't going nowhere. Guaranteed. I also don't see how you can make one much faster. I mean, I'm sure technically you can make them a 5-second car or whatever, but you give this to somebody, and this is a dangerous weapon right here. I mean, let's be real. This is not a slow car. I mean, especially in Plaid mode, it is a beast. And in the wrong hands, that's a scary thing.
Even in comfort mode, it's pretty scary.
Still a beast. Well, let's get out and take a look at the outside, shall we?
There's supposed to be an engine in there?
Yeah, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. So yeah, now we're here on the outside of the car, and we've got every door open, everything popped that you can possibly look at on the car. And I mean, you know, again, 4-door sedan. I mean, honestly, you can put your family in this. It's a very safe driving car. I think it's a beautiful car, frankly. The interior is nice. I went the white over black rims. A lot of people like the black. It is what it is. But where's the motor? I mean,
yeah,
you know, that's key. There really isn't some electrical motors in there. So
since there's no engine in the front, you got a lot more cargo space. But the thing with the Plaid, I'm not sure if it's like this with other Tesla models, but you got 3 engines, 2 in the back and 1 up here. So under here, I guess, is the engine and some mechanical stuff maybe for the steering or whatnot. But even with that there, you still got quite a lot of storage space.
Yeah, and you know what I've seen some people on the tube doing is that they're stripping the interior out of this car. Go over to that interior one more time. Stop stripping your interiors out of your cars to lose weight. Are you stupid? What's wrong with you people?
I mean, it's gorgeous. I guess it depends on what your priority is, but like, even with all this heavy, luxurious leather and whatnot, it's still fast.
If you want an
so.
8-second car, go build a drag car. Stop ripping the interior of your car. I mean, you got a gorgeous car. Don't drag
This thing is perfectly capable, so yeah.
It's absolutely capable, and it's absolutely a beautiful car. I mean, at the end of the day, you could drive this every day. And of course, you got the Tesla package that just, you know, they even did that right. It's got the little grommet
Tesla was thinking of everything, because obviously this car's stupidly quick, so if it didn't have that, it'd be sliding everywhere, but it's got a lot of grip. And another thing a lot of people don't know is your motors are up there, so you got space over here for even more cargo space. So if we pop that off, we lift this, look at that.
Yeah, let me grab that camera for a second.
It's not a lot of light, but look at that. That's like,
There's depth to that.
Right
There's
there.
depth to
Yeah.
that. That's the point, is that, you know, you could fit, I don't know, about 15, 20 pizzas in there easily.
exactly. It's the perfect pizza delivery car.
It is a great pizza delivery car, and you're guaranteed to get a good tip because you'll be there fast and, you know, in style. And
You'll always be there early.
yeah, you will always be there early, and charge isn't that big of a matter. Now, what do they say about the superchargers? Hey, use them as you need, but don't try and use them, you know, too much overly. Let's shut the doors on this real quick and all the latches and stuff. So, this is not an ugly car. Is it a McLaren? Is it your supercar? No, but you know what? It'll ghost your face. I mean, reality of it is you wouldn't expect this thing 4 doors to blow your doors off. I mean, and it's going to, and that's just a fact, not fiction.
Exactly, and it might be a sedan, but it definitely looks better than your mother's Corolla. So
Absolutely
with the
looks
white
better.
on black, it almost reminds me of a stormtrooper.
Yeah, it is kind of like a stormtrooper.
Carbon touch right here, the carbon spoiler. So good. And dude, I wish they replaced this with the Plaid logo. You know, I know it says Plaid, but like, I don't know if any of you have seen it. We might pop something up on the screen there.
Yeah,
But
they had a logo, dude.
Yeah,
they had the Plaid logo, and the thing is, I mean, that's cool. I'm cool, but put the logo above it, man. Maybe they couldn't get rights to it. Who knows? You think the billion-dollar man could have got the rights, but I mean, he did build a badass car. Fact. Again, if you're ever looking for a Tesla and you want to race, don't strip out the interior. Okay, just don't. Guys, back here at the garage, just finished up our little cruise with you. Hope you liked what you've seen, what we talked about. I mean, I think we gave you our honest opinion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it. I mean, legitimate. It's a great driving car. I would tell you this, it's like food, right? You see all these types of food, you got to try everything once. No matter what it is, give it a shot. You never know. You may absolutely fall in love with this. I mean, I'll tell you.
And you can't say anything bad about this car unless you've rode in it. You know, if you haven't, then don't talk bad about it.
It's like eating broccoli. Hey, if you like broccoli, great for you. I hate it, and I did try it. So I can say I still hate it. You know, that's
Exactly.
me. But I legitimate, just as you said, I drove in this car, I've driven this car, and I love it. It's a fantastic car. It's the future. Electric cars are here to stay, whether you like it or not. It will never replace this. This is soul, this is passion, this is where that came from. But the reality of it is take the time, give everything a chance once, and you never know, you might absolutely just be blown away.